Hello, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, here with another practice match for our John Souls of the Lost. We have a pretty sweet hand, but only one land. Do we get punished by keeping? Because we're keeping. We're going to keep. Well, have learned my lesson? No, I have not learned my lesson, but there's a reason I'm keeping this one, and that's because we're about to do what our opponent's doing. We're going to play this fetch land, see if we're drawing a land, correct. If we aren't, crack the bobble. If we are, I guess leave the bobble or leave the fetch land until our next turn, and then do Rakdos, Stitcher Supplier, or Thoughtseize, Stitcher Supplier, or whatever. All right, let's see if we are. We just hit a land here, and we hit a land. That's good for us. So this is looks like mono red. I would imagine it's Izzet, but let's see what we're drawing. Footfall Crater. We don't need another one of those. So we could go for the Triome and hope that we all right, I think we're going to go for the Blood Crypt. And hopefully if we're playing burn, we're in trouble, but for now we're just going to try to set us up for a big Tarmogoyf next turn. Oh, Souls of the Lost. I hate seeing that go to the graveyard. So we just finished, well, we didn't really finish. We started a match against Rhinos. Another land's not bad. They scooped it the whole match after they lost game one. I don't know if they decided we were just playing too much jank, or if they just didn't have good answers to our Tarmogoyf and Souls of the Lost, but it was sweet. I think our Souls of the Lost was like up 15, 16. Looks like we're playing another Street Wraith deck. Is this going to be Death Shadow? Rakdos Death Shadow, maybe? Or just a interesting burn. Ooh, this is the new hotness too. This is what gave me the idea to play this deck. Was this Rakdos Souls of the Lost? Then they play this card. They play a lot of discard shenanigans to get value out of what's the mechanic? I'm blanking on the mechanic right now, but they play a lot of ways to get value out of discard madness, right? The madness mechanic. So yeah, it's a sweet card, and this gives their the target creature gets trample, it doesn't get haste. So that's the difference between what we're playing. This does a lot though, so we may need a Thoughtseize here, and then cast a Ragavan. See what our opponent's up to. Galvanic Blast is probably what we're going to take because that's going to be able to kill our Ragavan. Whenever you discard one more card, exile the top card of your library, you might play that card until your next end step. What did they exile? Just a land. Maybe, well, actually, do we want to just go ahead and set up for a hasty? I think we're going to set up for our hasty Ragavan, or a hasty Tarmogoyf, actually. So next turn we can play a 5/6, give it haste and trample, and get in there. Hope our opponent, what did they have? That's their graveyard. They have the black spell, so hopefully they don't hit anything good. They're going to get another look here. I assume they're going to discard this card, this Oval Chase Daredevil. It's going to get a +1/+1 counter and trample, which is great for them. Got a Ragavan, also good for them. We'll block, even though it's got trample, because we want to fill our graveyard. At this point, I'm not sure it matters. We already have as big of a Tarmogoyf as we're going to get. That's good at blocking a Ragavan, so perhaps we should have saved it. But I tend to want to fill the yard as fast as possible with this deck. So if we draw Souls of the Lost, we're going to really put our opponent to the test. Man, yeah, this is some sweet synergies off of. I don't know what the better deck is, to be honest, and I don't really care that much. I like my deck. I like their deck. I like this card. Really fun. I'm glad it's seeing some play. So much text on it. 2 mana, so powerful. It's fragile, sure, but man, it's such a good engine. Which makes me wonder if we draw an answer, do we just try to answer it? Yeah, so we probably should have held back the Stitcher Supplier just as a blocker for Ragavan. We'll see if it matters. More land. Again, like we seem to run hot and cold with this deck where we either hit a bunch of land or we don't hit any lands. You know, we've had a bunch of draws now with the Mishra's Bauble too, and hit a land off of everything, I'm pretty sure. Make sure we don't tap the wrong land this time. Oh, lightning bolt our face, and that, so does that mean we're just dead? Because they could have blocked. No, they wouldn't have been able to block. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that if that had been a Souls of the Lost instead of a Proving Ground, we might have won, or at least been near winning. Getting rid of the Stitcher Supplier there. It might be the cost. Might be the one mistake of the game. I mean, you got to play near perfect. Margin of error in Modern, especially playing. This is not my jankiest deck, but playing a janky deck is margin of error is very slim. Let's put it that way. Are we dying to a bolt, or did they just set themselves up to be able to kill us? No, we're at 4. Galvanic Blast, that doesn't do it. They did get a bolt off of us, so we might just be dead to that. Ooh, the Ragavan, that's some nice synergies. I like that. But we might just be dead. So Souls of the Lost would be our best draw. Or another Tarmogoyf, it looks like. There are a lot of sweet synergies with this deck. I like it. Put us to 1, sure. Are we just dead? Because you did all this other stuff if you had the bolt in your hand the whole time. Cookbook. Get a food token so they can gain some life. Get another Urza Saga. I wonder who came out with this deck, if there is someone. I mean, there's always someone. If it was one of the pros or big name streamers. It's a sweet deck. It's got a lot of ins and outs, sweet synergies. Go up to 10, so we're back to drawing a Souls of the Lost or a Tarmogoyf, and we hit a land. So we can do, even, so we can cast a Ragavan. We can't crack our fetch even. So if we hit a bolt off of the Ragavan, we'll get the treasure token though. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll play it out. Play the Ragavan. Give it haste. Hope to return the favor. They can return the favor to us and give us a lightning bolt off the top of their library. They're at 3. Dragon's Rage Chanala is not going to do it, is it? Alright, well, we just, that was a close game. Fun game. Alright, it's the mirror, sort of. Sort of. Man, just, we drew land every single turn, I feel like. We ended with all lands. We kept the one lander and just went land, 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 land. Crazy. All right, well, we'll bring in our ley lines. I wonder if they have ley lines. We can bring in our Assassin's Trophies. Take out the Fatal Pushes. And run it like that. Yeah, that was some... it's frustrating with this deck. It feels like we've played multiple matches and where we've had at least one game where we flooded out and one game where we got mana screwed. We kept the one land hand and drew lands the entire game. But there may have been one non-land card in there. But I don't even think there was a single non-land card that... I think we just kept the 6... Yeah, every single draw was land. So it's amazing. No wonder we lost. But we got down to 1. We got them down to 1. Oh, it's so frustrating. Y'all are probably tired of hearing me say that. All right, we're keeping. We don't have our ley line, but we do have a way to get a Ragavan. And if we don't draw a land, which we're due to not draw any lands the rest of the game this time, because last game we drew all lands. So they kill our Ragavan, great, whatever. It's not ideal, obviously, but we can save up or use the Beseju if we don't, since we will not draw a land, I'm sure, to seek the beast at the end of their turn. Hopefully it'll land that way. Okay. Yeah, I just never want to play Dragon's Rage Channeler. It would be good in this deck, for sure. And maybe I should make room for it. I just don't really want to play it. Maybe I'm like, that's just like cardism. I need to get over my biases and play a card that's just straight up good. Because if we have ways to trigger it, we have reasons to put things in our graveyard. It's almost like I can read the Magic God's mind. So what we can do is we can play this Beseju, put a Footfall Crater on it, give this thing trample, and at least get one hit in. It does advance our board. These Tarmogoyfs are currently 2/3, so I like how we can enchant their land. We'll wait for blocks to give it trample. Don't want to click on our creature, or their creature, I mean. Done that before. So they trade. We get something off the top. It's a cookbook. We do not care about cookbooks. We want the treasure token, I believe. Since, again, like I keep joking, but I'm only half joking. We're not. It's our turn now to not draw any lands with our deck. And in case our opponent didn't read this card well enough in the first game to realize that we can give our creatures trample, they know it now. So they'll be more on the lookout to play around it. Choosing not to dash in the Ragavan. Interesting. Okay. That's just free value right there, folks. Free value. Assassin's Trophy. It just feels so bad to Assassin's Trophy. Again, yeah, I mean, what did I say, right? It's our turn not to draw any lands. Could cast this Goyf, swing in for 3, trample. And that just doesn't feel good. All right, so I guess we got some lands, which is good for us. We can play a Tarmogoyf, or we can just kill the Ragavan. We'll go get probably another, get an Overgrown Tomb this time, or no, Blood Crypt, Stomping Ground. See if that comes back to haunt us. Sometimes fetching the right colors is just so challenging. So I take it back, Magic Gods. We were going to draw some lands this game. There were 2 in a row right there. So this is a 3/4. Next turn, we can, if it survives, we could play another Goyf, give it haste, and attack with both. Meanwhile, our opponent's just going to get so much value out of this discard engine that we may want to just Assassin's Trophy the Cookbook, because they're going to get a lot of, and then the Galvanic Blast, yeah, sure. They're going to get a lot of just free value at this point. They're missing land, it looks like. They're about to get a treasure token. Oh, it's not even dead because, gotcha. Don't know how we got him, to be honest. Artifact, creature, land. What is this? No, it's a 4/5. Get hit for 8. Yeah, I think we're gonna just keep them off their mana for now. It's fine. We'll lose the Goyf. Hoping to draw another land. Another land we can Questing Druid. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say Questing Druid, Assassin's Trophy, the Cookbook, but at this point, Leyline would be nice, even at the late game. At least start to shut down some of their shenanigans. All right, so there's the land. So we can Questing Druid and Assassin's Trophy. I just don't even know if there's a reason for that, to be honest. They're going to gain a ton of life. They can just keep cycling, but it will slow them down a little bit. But they're stuck on mana, so that would not something we really don't want to give them more mana. Because they can make all the food tokens they want if they're still stuck at 2 mana. And if they had not played a second Cookbook, we might have Assassin's Trophy the first one. But given that they played a second one, there's really no point. It gives them a third land that they need. So yeah, it's just all upside for them. And this is their real payoff card here. So this will give us something, a better target for our Assassin's Trophy. And then we can, if everything goes well, we'll Assassin's Trophy that. And Seek the Beast for our opponent's turn, end of our opponent's turn. Or we can just run out this Questing Druid and Assassin's Trophy it to grow it to 2/2. So many food tokens. Buys them so much time that life gain ends up adding up quite a bit. Just realized my computer has been unplugged this whole time, even though the plug is still in it. Shadow Spear. All right, well, that's a good one to target as well with Assassin's Trophy. Lots of good targets. Let's crack this. Another Assassin's Trophy. Okay. That is good. So we're going to go ahead and this should count to grow it. It is a black spell too, so whoops. Tap this for green. Tap that for black. So this lets us get a hit in. Takes away one of their main engine pieces. They're down to 2 cards, one of which is that card they keep discarding to get the food. The Shadow Spear, they can't. It's unlikely that they're going to be able to cast equip. And even if they do cast and equip, we have the second Assassin's Trophy for the Shadow Spear. They have the potential to gain 6 life a turn for the rest of the game if that's all they do. We're hitting for 6 a turn. Just saying. Maybe we should have brought in Brotherhood's End for the blowouts. I didn't even think about that. I'll have to bring it in if we do get to game 3. Yep, gain your life. Gain your life. I mean, we're still essentially like, if we can just hit our Souls of the Lost, I think we're in pretty good shape. So I think what we're going to do with that in mind, so if we do Bloodstained Mire, so why don't we go ahead and seek the beast and hope really hard to get the Souls of the Lost. Make sure I'm tapping everything correctly. Souls of the Lost, please. One time. I'm playing so slow, but I'm just so terrified of misplaying after so many misplays this game, or this morning, I should say. Down to 10. 10 is not a lot, so then we're going to run this out. So now we have a more effective clock, right? Hitting for 9 or something, 10. So hitting for 9, they can gain 6. Next turn we can hit for a lot more. Assassin's Trophy, something if we need to. Still drawing live to Souls of the Lost to just close out this game. We know that one of their cards is that nonsense creature that keeps getting them. They're just going to run it out now. And then attach the Shadow Spear to it to hope to gain life. They don't have the extra mana, so they must be up to something. Some kind of shenanigans here. Otherwise, I'm confused by this play. And I think they realized they just misplayed. Okay, well, so we got there. We were not drawing into there's the ley line. So I think what we do now is bring in the Brotherhood's End. Take out a Thoughtseize. I thought we already took out our Thoughtseizes, to be honest. What did we take out? Failed Pushes? Yep, that would have been a mistake. We were supposed to have taken out our Thoughtseizes. Good thing we didn't get punished. Assassin's Trophy would look good. Terra Sunder, we can just bring in. I mean, do we really want to go all in on the removal plan and really water down our own plan? Lightning Bolt. I mean, Quested Druid did a lot of work that game. We have so much removal this way, and we have to water down our threats somehow. Do we get rid of Stitcher Supplier? That does give us our fastest start. Are we going all in on removal and interaction here? Maybe we just take out the Assassin's Trophies. and 1 Ragavan, and 1 Stitcher Supplier. Gives us a little bit more exile-based removal for their artifacts and enchantments. We have the ley line, we have the Souls of the Lost, and we don't have an answer to their ley line, but we're going to keep this on the back of the ley line and see if it's good enough to win us a game. Yep. Fatal Push, Lightning Bolt. Oh, I swear, sometimes this deck just drives me insane. 22 lands, we kept a 4-lander and drew a land off the top. Thank you, Mr. Deck. Thank you, Mr. Deck. We're very happy with that draw. Urza Saga is good for them. We do have a way to answer it. If we would draw a Terra Sunder, that'd be really good. Exile their land. Do they have a kill spell for the Ragavan? I'm just going to get in there. I'll trade with your Ragavan because we want to fill our yard for the Souls of the Lost. So Terra Sunder would be really nice here, assuming they don't play another Ragavan. To get rid of this Urza Saga, which is going to be a problem for us in the long term. One time, Souls of the Lost number 2. Okie dokie. We will discard Mountain. 3/4 is not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Because, okay, so we need to keep in mind double red for Brotherhoods, and they're going to start making constructs, and they're going to be able to grow those things pretty large. Not this turn, though. And they had 2 of those, so they were really going to set themselves up for some. They hit their land right on time. Is it going to be a kill spell? Nope. So I still think we want some sort of removal here. Gosh, holy moly. We did draw 1 Souls of the Lost, which is great, but man, we're just, the flood is for real. "22 lands, folks." We've drawn 1 non-land card. It is one of our better cards, to be fair. Declare blockers. That's frustrating. I thought I was going to have another chance to crack this land. I mean, that was 2 more damage. They would have been at 13. That's really, really annoying. So sequencing, also learning some things about Magic the Gathering, and online, I should say, that we do not get to, after the blockers, that was the moment we had, not before damage. That goes to damage after that. Yeah, I mean, it says damage right here. Thought there was the blocking step. I said, okay. Went to damage step, and it went right through it from what I understood, but I guess I misread it. There's a reason to play the game. All right, now they're going to go get another artifact. Probably some graveyard hate, if I was them. Yeah, drawing the second Souls of the Lost was great. Drawing lands other after that, or sandwiching that, has not been great for us. Soul God Lantern, pretty good for our opponent. They can just sit back. That's so frustrating. There's a Saga. It's a good magic card. We have answers, just didn't draw them. Opponent's just going off right now. But they managed to have 2 cards in hand, I think. Or at least get them a card that does something. Now they're just drawing a card. Interesting. What does that mean for that our opponent drew then? They didn't want to nerf our graveyard? Getting in. Nope. Deciding they're going to die if they do, so they don't want to risk that. I mean, we'll get this up to a 5/6. Now they're going to discard. Good. Let's draw another card. X out and there's a Saga. Discard again. Get a food token. Now that's a 6/6. So we're not, depending on what we draw, we're not going to be able to attack into this construct. Honestly, a Stitcher Supplier or removal spell would be great. Brothers, Hood, End would be our best draw. All right, deck, you have a chance to make it up to me with a good draw off the top. Ragavan, Nimble Pilferer. So we attack for make it a 5/6. They block. Play a sad Ragavan, and I think we're stuck, hoping to draw something better than our opponent, who's got 2 draws coming. Well, they didn't crack this yet because they need to keep that thing alive. Yeah, and they can just basically their engine's online to grow their construct to super big and get value out of this. So they're pitching a card every turn, but they're exiling one as well that lets them play it. It looks like they've gotten unlucky and they just scoop it up. Holy cow. That's frustrating. All right, well, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com. This has been another edition of Keeping Modern Tanky. I'm Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com. Check out my website where you can read articles on my Commander decks, my various modern brews, and my science fiction fantasy novel that I'm publishing serially every month. CyclesGaming.com. Be sure to click that like button and subscribe button on YouTube, and I'll see you on the next one.